Kai Lewis, senior, guard.
Noah Velocic, junior, forward.
Matt Prescott, junior, forward.
Ryan Curry, sophomore, guard.
Chris Rubio, junior, forward.
Kai Lewis, senior, guard.
like somewhere in there. Like, look at your levels. If you're like, yo, I'm bottom third, raise yourself up. I'll watch that. Get you another piece. This seems to be the load-bearing piece that it just did.
Yeah, because it wasn't there. Wow, what a drastic change. Alright, this is going to be way more fun today.
And like, but now I'm so freaking annoyed because we did such a good job last night.
No, why did it have to be like that? We had so much going on.
We had,
What was, I mean, what is all this stuff?
so, well, like, come look now. Like, this is what it's all supposed to look like. So now, like, that's on the
Oh,
camera.
you got that camera will pan the big shots, and then you have these other ones for like when it's close in and we want to do something different. The other shot, and then we got like some graphics so we can throw up.
Oh my goodness.
Info. It's good.
I'm sure Grundy likes his picture up there.
Yeah, that's an interesting picture, so I like that.
Which one? Grundy?
Yeah.
Oh, I took it last week in the coach office.
Yeah.
Don't ever look at it on the small screen.
Do you have their coach's picture?
No.
Why not?
Listen, we're not even gonna make this thing fucking work. I came up with a great analogy.
What?
We had Usain Bolt under contract, and we were like, "You're our guy. You're ready to go." He's like, "I'm gonna win the 100." We're like, "Here's a pair of flip flops. Running in the flip flops."
To be fair, he still should have won. Like, that's not really our problem at that point. We paid you. You have to produce. So yeah, that's what we did.
I just bought him a pair of Nikes, and now we're gonna be good to go.
Now, hold on. No. What if this is fine now and it's not the computer?
No, it's fine now for this, but we should have been able to handle everything. We shouldn't have to pick and choose here and fucking walk on eggshells to see what is gonna overload the goddamn thing. And I want to be able to render video in not fucking 2 hours and do all that other stuff that like supposedly the new ones are gonna do. It was time. This thing was 5 years old. I was a little stressed yesterday too.
Yeah.
A little stressed. No bueno. I'll film the rest of the JV game for Amanda.
Make sure it's ended. Make sure it's ended.
Well, now she just texted me. She's like Joe's wife.
Oh, yeah, I'll do all this crap too. Yeah, it's so clear. I almost don't believe it because I can watch it. I was mad looking at just this, so I know if somebody was on YouTube. What is this? What is this? I would turn it off.
Let's go to the left camera since that's where we're gonna be shooting. What are you up to for break, Tooch?
Working
Here?
here. We have the holiday tournament, so I gotta come back in 2 days.
Yeah, we'll be here for that.
Other than that, I have no life, so just
Okay.
relaxing.
That's a good thing.
How about
Relax. Same, except we're going to DC for 3 days, like in between. We're leaving on the 28th and coming back at some point on the 30th before the game.
Yeah.
Which I don't even care for nothing, for no reason whatsoever. It's Brennan's birthday on the 28th, but like
Who's?
Brennan's. I just don't know what. I don't know why we picked DC.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, the Falcons play in Tampa on the 29th. Like,
Yeah.
Florida sounds a lot better,
Yeah.
but she's like, we were just in Florida. I'm like, it's still fucking cold.
Yeah. Right. I'm trying to find some time to go snowboarding. I totally forgot. I broke a binding the last time I went. And it was like right in the middle of the day. So I think I broke my like foot binding. So I was like trying to snowboard with that.
Oh, that sucks.
It was a little, I had to work a little bit harder, but
Yeah, me either.
Having a mortgage that just went up.
Why'd your mortgage go up?
What?
Why'd your mortgage go up?
They didn't allot enough when they didn't take out.
Oh, in your
enough.
escrow? Yeah.
So what?
Yeah, they never do. That'll happen like
That was the first
more
time
often
it
than you want.
happened.
Well, sorry. Will my headset reach over there? We may as well talk to each other while we're doing this.
Which one was mine? That one? This one?
No dice on that there, Poke. Can we move that any closer? You know what? I'll put Timmy's on. Check, check. How do we... Oh, there we go. Welcome to JV Basketball on the Mire. Mr. Pogue, how are you doing, buddy? Turn yourself up there. There you go. Your first shot at producing.
You've muted me every time I went to talk. I think there's a theme here.
Right.
Yep.
It's my fault. Always my fault.
That's the easiest way.
Well, we worked out some of the kinks from last night, so we figured we'll just make sure that life is going well here for you.
Yeah, before we celebrate.
That's right. The JV team yesterday, boy, gave us some heroics. Matt Levy drilled a running three-pointer at the buzzer to give the Cougs a 2-point victory. And I wish that we had a chance to talk about it because the technology was not cooperating with us yesterday, and I was almost committed to Harry Carey. But
I don't know that anybody's going to know what that is.
That's okay. There's a new thing on the web called Google. They can figure it out. So I'm playing the role of cameraman here for the JVs, and Mr. Pogue is doing whatever he does, which it's like a little unnerving that I can't see what it is you're doing because I'm just kind of over here looking at a regular screen.
I mean, it's kind of the way I like it, though.
I just can't be that critical then?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
you
fair.
have to deal with whatever results are happening.
That's fair. You can tell Timmy to throw on a headset if he wants. We get a little bonus JV commentary if he wants.
I think we owe them that after last night.
Yeah, you might have to play with Timmy's volume, though, too, on my headset there.
Is that what it actually looks like on YouTube right now?
This is actually how it's supposed to look, Tim.
Wow.
The shock is very indicative.
Remember
of
yesterday
that.
when you were like, yeah, wow, this sucks.
Yeah.
I was sold a bill of goods.
I went back last night and took a look at just to see if there was anything on there, and yeah, that was a tough watch.
Yeah.
You think?
Was there volume on it too?
Oh yeah, that was actually great.
Oh well, at least they could hear our commentary.
The commentary was great. It was just everything else that was just a complete waste of life.
Wasn't. You guys did a pretty good job fixing it up, it looks like.
We put in some hard man hours into the wee hours of the morning. We went back, recharged, and figured a couple of things out.
Living and breathing Cougar basketball.
Would have been great if we were able to recharge and figure it out before tip-off yesterday, but
Yeah, well, you know.
Well, that would not be the norm for us.
that is definitely true. But hopefully on to bigger and better things today.
Yeah. It is bright in here right now. Those are some nice orange uniforms.
I didn't know what you were getting.
Yeah, I thought that was a metaphor. I thought you were going real
I was like,
deep.
wait a minute. We were up into the wee hours. Were you up into the wee hours of the morning?
No, not me.
Ariane Gordy just going coast to coast.
Looks like the JV's picking up where they left off yesterday.
Yeah, we talked about a very exciting victory. I joked with Joe Bassford last night before the varsity game. I was like, you're going to need to make your games a little bit more exciting if you expect me to watch.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you got to be down by 2 to hit that.
Right, yeah, seriously. Get it a little closer first
Come
before
on.
you win dramatically.
Yeah.
We'd appreciate that. My goodness. You know what's really bad about all of this? Like, how much we live and breathe this as it gets closer to the season because you just want it to work. I had a legit nightmare that involved the mire.
That doesn't surprise me in the least.
I'm surprised that last night was the first time.
That was the first one.
Oh my God, it was. I'm going to spare everyone the details of it because it was
horrific.
It would like let some insight into my life that people would be like, wow, we used to think he was normal.
Yeah.
You're already not helping right now.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, but now people get to use their own imaginations. They're like, nah, it's not that bad. No, banks open on Saturday, I suppose.
Closing the gap.
Man, you really got to hope Gordy we can get a nutritionist for Gordy. Just, I need some pounds.
Yeah.
Where's MetPro when we need them?
Yeah, look at that, trying to drum up new sponsors. Look at that. Always
Dude, if MetPro sponsor, listen, if for some reason somebody from MetPro is out there listening, I don't even want money. Just let me do it for free.
Oh, see?
And then that'll be fine. You know what? Fine, Pogue too.
Yeah, all right. There you go. See, always thinking about yourself.
Bartholomew doesn't need it. He runs marathons.
Self-serving.
I don't even know what MetPro is, to be honest.
Exactly. Sorry. The fat kids over here need some help.
What time are the NFL games today?
I think the first one's it's 4:30 and I want to say 8.
All right. Well, in that case, I need your expert opinion on if I should take Edelman out or not. For Will Fuller.
I would.
Right.
To be brutally honest with you, Will Fuller has somehow magically turned himself into one of the most important pieces in any offense. As Will Fuller goes, that team goes.
Yeah, I mean, he's boom or bust a lot of times, though. He's either going to get you 3 points or he's going to get you 25 in fantasy, at least.
Well, right, but then it seems like that's what the Texans, need to win.
Yeah.
For him to take the top off and.
Same thing with Edelman, though. I mean, he's their guy. They don't really have anybody else. Who else is going to get you those yards?
Right. Well,
But
except for the fact that maybe they'll hand it off 72 times.
Yeah. But they have to. They want to win so they can get this home field advantage in the playoffs. So
there's, in the NFL, I'm a big believer of the. It is the X's and O's more than the Jimmies and Joes because good coaching can defeat things schematically. But if you really don't have any Jimmies and Joes compared to the other team, and I just think that the secondary for New England, Tre'Davious White is clearly going to go guard Edelman, right? I mean, like.
Yeah. You mean for Buffalo, but yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, to me, Tre'Davious White is,
well,
clearly.
That was my feeling too. Yeah, I thought that their defense is better, so they're gonna basically just key on Edelman and make him get beat by the ground game.
There was a report I heard this week also about Edelman, and this will probably make you feel better by taking him out, is that physically the term that I heard to describe him was falling apart.
Yeah.
So.
Well, let's go make that change right now. Actually, I think I have Will Fuller in to start. Let's see. Yeah, I still have Will Fuller.
What you're reminding me is I should check my fantasy teams.
You should. Yeah, right. You have somebody in the championship?
I am in the finals of 2 leagues, and luckily for me, I have a gentleman's agreement with both parties to, with the exception of holding a small amount in escrow for the actual to see who wins. We've come to a much more closer to 50-50 settlement.
Yeah, I like doing that. And unfortunately, in my league, I'm in a league with like half friends and half not friends. And
right.
The other half is someone I don't really know, so we weren't able to come to that agreement.
Well, all I know is I got a nice like 650 coming to me with another $125.
Oh yeah,
up for grabs
on the game. Yeah, I should get it. I should get at least 4 because our league does high points.
Yeah.
For each week, and I won like a ton of high points. Unfortunately for me, Delvin Cook is injured.
Right. I think he might play though.
So that's my dilemma here. I got to figure out if he's going to play. I actually picked up Mike Boone to handcuff him.
Yeah.
And just keep my fingers crossed that Madison's not going to.
And the other thing is, too, you pick up a guy like that and you go, well, now I have him, and maybe I don't play him, but the other guy can't play him.
Yeah, the other guy can't pick him up. That's true.
Good boy, Gordy.
Get big.
Well, that's one of those like subtle psychological things that I'm all over my nephew about all the time because he's pretty scrappy and he's on the floor a lot and kind of mixing it up. And I'm like, you force the jump ball and then you let go. I'm like, I don't understand that. What are you doing? Don't let go of the ball. That's your ball.
Yeah.
Nice stutter step by Levy.
Oh, just missed.
We had a little issue on the far side of the court there with an injury. That was the issue.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to make it to our fantasy championship, but then all my whole team is falling apart. So
Sure.
So I'm happy for second, and maybe I get lucky and Mahomes and Kelsey have a big day together, and that gets me some points.
That's a good pair to have, my friend.
Honestly, that's what won me last week's game. Because they just played huge.
Welcome to JV basketball on the Mire. Varsity game set to tip off at 1 p.m. I don't really see any reason right now why that would be delayed, but you're getting a little bit bonus action as Gordy will lay it up and in.
You know who I snagged off the waiver wire who really helped me out? A.J. Brown.
Unbelievable. And I looked at him last week in a bunch of these matchups going, yeah, because I think more often than not, a guy that has a game like that's on the waiver wire for everybody, the team that they play next is like, well, we can't let that guy do that.
Yeah.
So they, buckle down on it, and then you pick him up and play him, and you go, and he gets 2.4 points, and you're like, well, what the hell? But,
He's had 3 or 4 weeks. That's why I was apprehensive. I picked him up like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. He's been awesome.
Yeah.
He's just been absolutely awesome. I wish I'd picked him up in both the places where I was going to.
The league that I'm in is a keeper league, so like if he could keep that success for next year, I could keep him. But I'll probably just stick with Mahomes.
Right. Buckets for the Cougs.
JV firing on full cylinders. That's amazing. They're doing really well.
Some more shameless plugs. We'll have both games of the holiday tournament live on the Mire. December 27th and December 30th are the games. The 27th is against Bridgewater, and the 30th is against something called Eagle Academy.
Sounds patriotic.
Yep. And that's actually fits in well around my little family trip that I have planned. So.
Oh, nice. Where are you going?
We're going to D.C.
Oh, nice.
See some stuff, and a little double dribble. See some stuff, and Washington around Christmas time is kind of beautiful. So just get away for a couple of days. It's the boy's birthday. He turns 13. So.
Oh, nice.
Although I was a little weirded out. I don't know why. Georgetown plays at noon on his birthday, the 28th, the day we're going out there, and I was like, yo, let's go to the Georgetown game.
Yeah, that would be fun.
My sister was all about it, and my nephew was like, I was like, really? That's what you got?
Not into Georgetown?
I don't know what he's not into or whatever. I'll take a break real fast and put this headset down. Poke, turn my volume down if you would, buddy. I'm on Timmy's headset. Thank you, sir. Throw your headset on there, Mandy.
It's on.
There you go. Hi, can you hear us? Can you hear us okay?
I can hear you, yes.
All right, just talk while we're not talking.
Okay. This is a good game.
All right, so need you probably to talk like
Just keep
like
talking.
use your voice like as you're talking. Like do not be afraid to talk loudly.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm a very loud talker, so it's not going to be an issue for me.
So like when you were just saying it's not going to be an issue for me, if you look at our volume levels, you were like bottom third.
Oh, wow. So really need to talk.
And I'll turn you up a little bit.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, so like that's probably now good.
Okay.
All right?
There we go. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Ooh, great.
Yeah. Thanks to Meyer alumnus Matt Gutierrez for the 4th headset. He sent it to me as only a college student would. He sent me a it looked as though the box had been picked up by UPS by Ace Ventura, and then Tim, and then had been kicked down the road about 72 times. What box was it in, Pogue?
That was a Nike shoebox that had seen much better days.
A Nike shoebox that he just wrapped up in tape, kicked down the road 72 times. But inside was the headset that you were wearing, Mandy, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds something like a college kid would do.
Yeah, he waterproofed it and everything right before he shipped it out. It was all good.
He
Very
waterproofed
nice.
it, yeah.
Right.
The headset works, so he did something right.
Oh, man. Now, you know what? And that kid just makes me so proud. You know, at Syracuse, absolutely crushing it. Writing for the Washington Post, writing for The Athletic. Kid's a junior in college. And I would like to think we at least gave him a little bit of a head start, because by the time he was a senior, him and Billy Rogers were just basically taking the equipment, and every road game, you know, when we were in February, he was just like, hey, can we go do the game today? I was like, yeah, go ahead. So, I mean, we ended up broadcasting, you know, almost double the amount of boys basketball that year simply because of Matt. And then he and I spent some time and, you know, kind of went back over the, you know, what the broadcast sounded like, places that, you know, he could potentially improve. And, I mean, so proud of that kid.
I mean, he was taking your college course for free.
Basically, he was auditing the class. Thank you, sir. That's fantastic. Christian Lugo coming up big for us there. Rosters and such.
Add this to your...
Yes.
Here, I'll put it over there for you.
Oh,
so you
thank
don't
you.
lose it.
So I would say, Mandy, that's about as far to the right as you, like off the court as you need to pan.
Yeah.
As you're going, but.
We got the Croc sisters coming over.
We do not. This is.
Oh, the Croc sisters will not be here today.
Oh, no.
Hence why we are kind of what we're doing right now. But this is so much better than, so this way you can at least hear everything we're saying, Mandy, you know?
Yeah.
I would say when you're on this side, pan a little bit more to the left to show that corner. Yeah, just get, yep, that's probably perfect.
That was a bit aggressive. So, Mandy, what did you think about your first go at sideline reporting?
You know what? I thought it was pretty fun. I was very happy with that. I was a little nervous, obviously, but besides that, I loved it.
Yeah, no, you did a fantastic job. You were
you.
giving them all those hard-hitting questions.
Yes.
Yeah, they did a good job responding. So
they did.
Overall,
better than I thought they would do, but they did.
Solid first performance.
Yeah. Can only go up from there.
Well, let's hope so.
Yeah.
Coug JV team having its way with Hamilton here, which is always nice to get some dubs early in the season. It's amazing how much early victories and early losses can affect any team as you go forward, because you're just wondering what your identity as a team is going to be, you know?
Yeah, it helps shape your own opinion of yourself. You know, you come out firing on all cylinders, and then you think, you know, we could do this against anybody.
And it's not even just high school. I mean, we talk about the NFL, you know, it's probably the most wagered on sport in America and in a ton of different ways. And even if you're not betting, like, maybe you're just in a pick 'em pool every week or something like that. And bad teams don't know they're bad early.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks that they're going to be good. So you're getting their maximum effort. And then all of a sudden you pick up a couple of wins early in the season, and then that momentum starts to build. And, I think it's so important.
I like to, equate this for my track kids. More specifically, my cross-country kids. I always tell them, I was like, you're not going to win the race in the first mile, but you can definitely lose it.
Oh, yeah.
So, you're not going to win the championship in the first few, first few games of the season, but you can really set the tone to not if you're not playing well.
Yep. Gordy just a half step late there on getting that.
Good finish. And one.
Mr. Pogue, I want you to know that Mr. Papaduke would like you to know that your job is now safe.
Oh, it was in question?
It was apparently after last night. It was there was a reevaluation process going on.
I'm glad I was unaware of all of that. That's good. But now we've come back to the good side.
You were out of Danielson too, but now you're up. You're back up at the 4 range.
Honest to God, and I'm not saying this to kiss rear end at all. I've never had a better boss than that man.
This is your only job, right? This was your only job?
No, I've worked in school, yeah. And actually, no, I was here when Jim Isaac was here.
Oh, okay.
But,
all right.
And nothing against Jim Isaac or any of the other 100 bosses I've had in my life. But, I mean, you talk about a guy, and I guess this is a knock in administration, around probably the country. Somebody is in the classroom, and that's usually how they start, right? And then they get out of the classroom and they maybe become a supervisor, and then they move up to be an administrator. And you hear often people say, well, man, that guy is really a rear end buster, and they really forgot what it was like to be in the classroom. And now Pops hasn't been in the classroom in, 2 decades. That man has never forgotten what it's like to be in the classroom. The amount of empathy that he has for the staff and the level to which you feel supported working at Montgomery High School, you cannot purchase that for any amount of money.
Yeah, I think we're fortunate here at Montgomery to have administrators like Papa Duke, and there's all over. Every building's got an administrator that has that caring personality, really cares about their staff, and tries to keep in mind what it was like to be in a classroom. Because it's easy to forget once you have all the demands that you get as the higher up you go. But we're very fortunate in this district to have a lot of really great people working for us.
And honestly, now, kind of where we are at central office, I mean, between Mary McLaughlin and Damian Papa, there's 2 other people that, now at the highest levels of administration where I'm like, yeah, they get it. So I just think, compared to that, you go back 1 calendar year and you're going, holy crap, like, I don't really know that they even like us.
Yeah.
And now with the turnover that's happened, I just think the climate.
Much better.
Oh my God. It's crazy. But crazy positive.
Yeah.
I want to say something from a student perspective. We
Please.
love Papa Duke.
You do? Okay, tell us more.
He's a great guy. Like, kids aren't scared of him. Like, I don't know if you want to be scared of a vice principal, but he's.
Whoa! Let's back. Let's back.
You just demoted him.
We're gonna.
Let's set that audio for a little
Pops,
bit.
I'm sorry, man. Listen, I know whatever sanctions come down the line here, I'm not responsible.
Apologies, but people you don't want to be scared of someone, but people trust him. So from a student perspective, he's well liked.
That's terrific.
Man, you just said that. Trust, right?
God.
Trust.
Yeah.
Another thing you just can't put a price tag on. I've stolen this from Colin Cowherd for sure, but just talk about something that I wholeheartedly agree with. Do not chase money in your life. Chase good bosses. Because if you go to work every day and you hate your job, it is a long day every day, baby. And you don't have you're always looking over your shoulder. You don't have the freedom to actually perform the job for which you were hired because you're constantly second-guessing yourself because you think they're second-guessing you. And when you can operate with the kind of freedom and support that we are able to here, can't put a price tag on it. End of rant.
I wouldn't say that was a rant.
Coming down near to the end of the junior varsity basketball game here at the Den. We'll probably kick off a full pregame show officially for you in just a little while. Somewhere between the end of this one and the start of the next one, because I got a couple small administrative tasks to attend to. But happy to see that we are back up and running and things are progressing nicely.
Good steal. Ooh. Oh, looks good.
Yeah. Feeling a ton better about it today.
That's good. I was concerned about you last night.
Yeah, that seemed to be the sentiment across the board. And Pogue and I went out for dinner after we got done here, and I had turned on the game. You know, I wasn't watching it. I was just listening to it as we were on the way. And
that's what a lot of people did.
The press, yeah, it's pretty much the only thing you could do. The Prescott last three, when he really had gotten hot and had that spinning layup, and just kind of the way that Pogue had composed it, switching cameras at the correct time and getting us to where we needed to be. Now, it was pixelated as hell, but I'm just like, this is going to make you real upset. I'm going to show it to you anyway, but it's going to make you real upset because you can hardly see it, but you did a great job. And it sounded good.
Oh,
but
man, you finally got you got some credit, and it was pixelated.
Yeah, we got credit on the day where it was unwatchable.
Pixelated credit. That's the worst.
Pretty fantastic.
Right, what is it? Every journey starts with the first step, right?
Yeah, right.
Our first step was backwards about 8, but then we caught up again.
It was more of a stumble, right?
Well, I think back, 2 steps forward.
Yeah.
I think it was more. What is it just called a false start, Timmy, when somebody cheats coming out of the blocks?
Yeah.
We got DQ'd before anything even happened.
Oh, we got Mr. Lugo over here.
The new voice of the Cougars.
Oh, man. He's got big shoes to fill in the shoes of Eddie Edenfield.
Yes, he does.
He's a long-time Montgomery sports announcer. Shot you a nice little email this week.
Yeah, he did. Happy to hear he listened to the game, subscribed to us on YouTube.
Oh, that's right. Got to get those subscribers. There we go. Just a little over a minute left in the game. Hamilton West. Is this is Fig's hometown, right?
That it is. He had coached a little bit of football. There was a little bit of moderate controversy this week in the world of Hamilton West as it relates to Mercer County football, actually. I'll explain that in a second.
They had a really successful season, though.
They did. And then one of their guys shared Player of the Year with a gentleman from Notre Dame, and a kid from Notre Dame had 34 touchdowns, and originally didn't get the votes to even share Player of the Year because a lot of the public schools in Mercer County are upset with Notre Dame, and that young man would have been a Hamilton West kid.
Oh.
And he chose to go to Notre Dame instead, and
yeah,
let's just say that
happens.
didn't go over too well with a lot of the coaches. But I thought that was a pretty petty move by some folks. But then again, a lot of those coaches in Mercer County this year were so young. A lot of guys in their 20s and early 20s, and
yeah,
hard to sometimes when you're that young really see the forest through the trees and understand that it's about the kids. You know.
I mean, I think that's happened to a lot of coaches along the years. It happens in track a lot. You know, kids go to the Lawrenceville Preps or the Notre Dames or the Petties. You know.
Yep. Poe, you got a graphic coming your way in a moment there. There you go.
Nice little block by number 23. It's a disadvantage of being the middle school teacher. I don't recognize these kids when they get up here in the high school. I can't tell you how many times this happened where a kid will come up to me in the halls in the high school and be like, "Mr. B, how are you?" And I'm like, "Hey."
Right.
You know?
Hey, you. Good to see you.
Last time I saw you, you were 4'3", and now you're like 6.
Right.
You know, what happened?
Yep. It probably behooved me to see if Hamilton played last night, huh?
You know how the freshmen did today?
They won by like 10.
Nice.
Yeah.
2-0 start for Reynolds. And it will also be a 2-0 start for Coach Bassford and the JV crew. And there you have it. 56-41, Montgomery over Hamilton West.
There you go. 60-38 was Hamilton's victory last night, looks like.
Oh, who'd they play?
It's a pretty big margin.
Interesting. The two of the top 3 scorers from last night are non-starters.
Yeah? Who were they?
Tobias Prawl and Maurice Williams. Maurice Williams had 15 last night, and Tobias Prawl had 12. And it looks like Jack Bowford led the way with 16, but 15 and 12 for Williams and Prawl. But
yeah, Williams is only a sophomore.
Yeah, indeedy.
5'8".
Pug, why don't you throw up that? Why don't you throw a commercial on here, and we'll take that, and then come back with a little matchup logo, perhaps, and we will then have a nice full pregame for you as Varsity Boys basketball against Hamilton West is coming up here in just a couple minutes. Stick with us. You're cutting the mire. It's the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mire. Keith Glock, Tim Bartholomew, Matt Pogue, Mandy Shalvin's behind the camera today, and also will be joining us on air. And pretty excited to be with you here, Timmy, after last night's technical snafus. I think we got some things sorted out, and we are ready to rock.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Bigger and brighter today. We're going to have less pixels and or less pixelated at least, and have a good show.
Zero pixelation today.
Nice.
But there was no pixelation on the part of the Cougars last night as they picked up a pretty dominating win over Phillipsburg. Phillipsburg made it a little bit closer than we probably would have liked, towards the waning moments of the game, I would say. But the game never really felt out of control, I don't think.
I don't think so either. I mean, there was we got up by 15, and then they kind of had a little bit of a drought, but never did you feel like we were going to lose control. And they just did a fantastic job of keeping their composure and then making the baskets when they really needed to.
Yeah, I would agree. Nobody bigger last night than Matt Prescott. Tim, your boy, you were rooting for him all night long.
For him.
And 5 3-pointers. How impressed were you with his first performance?
I was incredibly impressed. I saw, like I said, we come here early a lot. We watch the JV games. We don't always get to broadcast them like we did today. But, last year I watched a bunch of them, and I was like, well, this kid has got some serious talent, and I knew that he would be able to perform in a bigger situation. And yesterday was great. It was a good confidence builder for him. I think that's going to go a long way to help his season. And make sure that he is able to repeat those performances and really help the team, because they're gonna need games from him like that often if we were gonna want to be successful.
Let's talk Ryan Curry for a second, because I really thought that I was interested to see what his performance was going to be like last night, because as you look back into the history of the point guard situation here at Montgomery, and Coach Grundy and I talked about this in the preseason interview, that it's unfair to compare one player now to any players of previous eras, because that's just not how it needs to get done, because this isn't the pros, it's not college. The kids are so young, and but when you talk about positions, I think that's where you can start to make comparisons, because coaches can teach skill sets sometimes better at a certain position than others. And it's very clear that the point guard position has been something that this program, which extends down into the middle school years, has put such a heavy emphasis on coaching the point guard position that Curry seems to be the next in the line of those guys. So how was he going to handle game one of just the sophomore year, where he's probably being asked to do more than any of those guys were at that time? And boy, I think the confidence was there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He got off to like a little rough start, and I think that was key for him to just show the type of player he is it didn't prevent him from putting up the next shot. It didn't prevent him from trying to make that hard pass or to dribble around out of defensive press. And it goes a long way to show that the type of athlete he is and the type of leader on the team he's going to be, because this year he's going to have to be a leader, which is a lot to put on a sophomore. But he did an excellent job showing that he is more than capable to handle that. And a lot of times he's going to dictate the pace of this game. And so for him to have that confidence and ability to do that at such a young age is really impressive.
I think it would have been easy last night to look at Chris Rubio and say, well, that really wasn't the game we thought he was going to have. I think that you are going to look back on this year, and he's going to have some games where it was like last night. I don't even know how many points he ended with last night. It was so obvious that Phillipsburg is keying on him that I think there's going to be so many games like that where he's going to have to work so darn hard to get his points that in the games where you're going like, well, he only had 12, I'm going to go, no, he had 12 of the hardest fought points inside, because he's probably fighting through doubles and, guys fronting and backing him, where a guy who's 6'9" with the basketball ability that he has, you'd think it would be just a little easier. But in high school, teams are going to game plan for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to take a few games like yesterday's to get other teams keying on the Prescotts, the Curry, you know what I mean? Even getting a little Marco in there. And then once they have to game plan for more than Rubio, which I think was Phillipsburg's strategy, was we're going to take Rubio out of the game and we're going to make these new guys beat us. and it didn't. Obviously it didn't go as they planned, but. It's going to take a few games like what we had, and then they're going to start keying on some other guys, and then it's going to open up some passes. It's going to open up some room for him to really excel.
So now let's see. Like anything else, we're finding out so much about this team because they're so young. What is Game 2 going to be like? You've now had a pretty good amount of success in Game 1. And then you have a night to go home and sleep on it, and it's all hugs and backslaps, and everybody's happy. And how do you come back today? Are you able to replicate that performance? Will you stay hot from the outside? Because shooting, we know, can be hot and cold.
Yeah.
So what are you kind of looking at today of what your expectation level is, and then also kind of what your prediction is, I would say?
I don't know that we're going to shoot quite as well as we did yesterday, because I feel like we shot really well yesterday.
I agree.
I think hopefully that we replicate that close. I think that Rabayo is going to have a bigger role in the game. I think we're going to maybe get a little bit more inside, play a little bit more aggressive. I'm curious to see what Hamilton's going to do as far as pressing the ball. I thought for sure after watching the quad scrimmage and some of the things that we would see more press, and I feel like Phillipsburg didn't abandon it altogether. And like you had mentioned, it probably had something to do with their ability to maintain.
Right.
And we'll see the type of athlete that Hamilton West brings, and maybe that might be something that we'll get a chance to take a look at and see how we respond to.
About 9 minutes away from the clock expiring here in the pregame, and then that'll bring us the national anthems and the starting lineups. So we'll take a step away. We'll come back, give you a little bit more prediction and insight on what we think is going to happen this afternoon, and then we'll have tip-off. Boys basketball here on the Mire, and it's Montgomery versus Hamilton. Stay with us. You're caught in the Mire. It's the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Welcome back to Montgomery. Keith Glock, Matt Pogue, Tim Bartholomew, and Mandy Shavlin with you live in the Mire. We're getting set for boys basketball against Hamilton West. Hamilton also 1-0 on the season. They picked up a victory 60-38 over Hopewell Valley. Again, I have no insight for you whether that's a big win or not. Hopewell is usually pretty well coached, but you know.
I talked to Coach Bassford a little bit, and he said that was a pretty impressive win for them. It's maybe a little unexpected.
Okay.
So we'll see what they come out here and do.
Teams, honestly, really just trying to find out who they are in the early going. One of the things that was interesting is I was looking at the statistics. Maurice Williams and Tobias Prawl were both in double figures last night for Hamilton, and neither of them are starters today. I don't know if that's a function of the situation, or are they just money off the bench? Did something happen? I don't know, because typically when you score in double figures, you start.
Well, somebody could have fouled out early, or maybe a little bit of an injury. We weren't there, don't know, but or maybe they just like to play basketball by committee. Have a quick paced off the bench sub type offense.
I don't know, but Cougs obviously led last night in points by Matt Prescott in those 17 points, and just kind of led wire to wire. It was never really in doubt, which I was a little bit shocked about. I was expecting a bit more from Pregame, and maybe, quite frankly, I was expecting a bit less from us. And that's just me being honest.
Well, you never know. It's the first game, and you just never know. It's like the first time a kid steps on the track for me. Are they going to run the time that I expect them to, or are we going to go faster or slower? And now that we have one game under our belt, we have a little bit of an expectation.
Right.
And hope that we can at least match that expectation, if not exceed it.
Well, we are about coming down to the time for the national anthem, so we will take a break for the anthem. We'll come back and bring you the starters, and then tip-off boys basketball against Hamilton. Happy holiday break, everybody. You're caught in the mire. It's the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience.
That's right.
Welcome back to Montgomery. Keith Glock, Matt Pogue, Tim Bartholomew, Mandy Shavlin. We're getting set for boys basketball here in the Den against Hamilton West. Let's take a look at those Hamilton West starters. And Vincent Muse will play forward, a 6'1" junior. Donovan Domine, Jamaj Walker, Jack Buford, and Jarrell Hall. Jack Buford, I'm going to go with Balford. How does that sound? We okay with that?
I think
it's good enough. Jack Balford was the leading scorer last night in that 62-38 victory over Hopewell Valley. He had 16 points. And there were two folks off the bench. Maurice Williams had 15 and Tobias Prawl had 12. So now let's take a look at the Montgomery starters.
Kai Lewis, senior, guard.
Noah Velocic, junior, forward.
Matt Prescott, junior, forward.
Ryan Curry, sophomore, guard.
Chris Rubio, junior, forward.
Those were the starters for the Cougs. Same starting lineup as last night as you hear them being announced behind us. Coaching staff for Montgomery, 1-0 obviously on the season, and Chris Grundy picking up another big victory in his coaching career. Feel free to listen to actually what I'm saying at any point today, Poke. We okay? See, I thought we were going to be able to go with the subtle cues.
Subtlety's not my thing. You should know that by now.
226 career victories for it. And that was the other thing that was my fault. I couldn't remember what the freaking number was. I'm waiting for you to put the graphic up on the screen so that I can read the darn thing.
Well, I was thinking scoreboard. You were thinking left and right zigzag. I zagged. I don't
Good
know.
hell. 226 career victories in the esteemed coaching career for Chris Grundy here at Montgomery. And obviously that one big state title in 2010. Cougs in those home whites in green numbers outline in gold, and Hamilton West will turn on the headlights, as Timmy said during the JV game, and they'll be orange numbers with the black numbers, or orange jerseys with the black numbers.
Orange numbers with the black numbers.
Orange numbers with the black numbers. If only I could speak.
Quite the uniform.
Happy holidays, everybody. Welcome to the Mire.
Here we go.
We're set for boys basketball. Rubio will jump it up against Jamaj Walker.
I got Rubio on this one.
And here we go for basketball. And Prescott will control the tip. Didn't hear from Vlasic last night on the scoreboard very much, but we'll see if that changes at all today. 2-3 zone to start things for Hamilton West, as Kai Lewis will break it down. Threw a pretty uncatchable ball for Vlasic, so Montgomery will start over. They try to entry pass, nearly stolen, so Curry will throw up a floater, and that's good to start things off for the Cougs.
It's a good move by Curry just to cut to the lane and get a nice little floater.
Quick foul for Kai Lewis. Afternoon games always have a bit of a different atmosphere here in the Den. Just seemed like a little more juice last night. Certainly the student section is a little bigger, but community turnout, I think, was a little higher last night. Montgomery coming out playing some man-to-man here.
Must like their matchups.
Good hedge by Rubio. Hamilton will have to exploit that maybe a little bit better than they did there if Rubio is going to hedge so hard.
Looks like they're just being patient, trying to get an open look. Montgomery doing a good job to prevent that from happening.
One of the things that happens, you know, with any kind of high school kids, you make them play anything for this long and they get frustrated. Curry will come down with it in traffic, using that body to shield himself from the defender. Hit, no call, and it is going to go out of bounds off Montgomery.
I thought Hamilton got a piece of that before it went out.
This is Balford, who had 16 last night in the team's victory. starting out kind of similarly to last night as Balfour drives and Rabayo comes down with the rebound. Things started very slowly on that first possession for Montgomery, and then it never got that slow again. It was a little odd.
Yeah, they were really patient on their first one, getting that first basket, and then it kind of went right into just good rhythm, making some shots.
They go to the post. There's a double quickly, and then we're going to get a foul on, let's see who they're going to call Vincent Muse.
And that's the beauty of having Rabayo down there. You know, if he doesn't get the easy basket, he can at least get the foul.
Tobias Prawl into the game.
So he comes in early.
Yeah. Prescott, great ball fake. And Balfour will reject it, but Prescott able to come down with his own rebound. Kicking back outside. Vlasic, another good ball fake. Couple extra passes. Prescott, the hot hand, yes!
Picking up where he left off.
Quick 5-0 lead for the Cougs.
I'll get my man the ball.
Listen, if he's going to keep shooting it like this, no reason to reach there if you're Prescott. Good hedge again, and let's see what Montgomery can do with this pressure. They really rotated well there. Good job by Rabayo, though, and we're going to get over the back foul. Great job of team defense by the Cougs.
That was good. I thought for sure he had a nice, easy layup, but Rabayo was able to cut back in and make it a very difficult shot.
One of the things last night that we had was some live sideline reporting. We won't have that today from the sidelines with video, but we do have our sideline reporter with us, Mandy Shavlin. Mandy, what's going on?
Nothing much, just watching the game.
How was last night for you?
Last night was great. It was a lot of fun. It was better than I expected it to be. I was less nervous and just very exciting for me.
Well, I'm glad you weren't nervous. We tend to, as Rabayo will try a three, that is no good. We tend to have low expectations here on the Mire, just saying. Curry, he's going to shoot it off the transition. That's no good. And Prescott was just a bit out of position. But glad you had a good first experience.
That was great.
And we'll bring a lot more of that to you out there in Mireland as the season goes on. Ball movement just a tad slow there, but you got to give credit to Donovan DeMine knocking down that three with a Rabayo 6'9" frame bearing down on him. You hear Grundy in the background telling him to go to work, and he's hit again on the inside, and he looks at the official and says, come on, I didn't even have an opportunity to catch that. But you really see, you know, Hamilton understanding where Rabayo is, and the moment that the entry pass is on its way, he's, you know, front and backed.
Marco Lainez checked in for Kai.
Curry, right off the inbound. Yes! Sophomore knocking down his first three of the ball game, and the Cougs lead back is back to 5.
There's that confidence we were talking about earlier. Just, you know, be able to just pull up when he thinks he's got it, make a big play happen.
Good screen freeing up the team's best scorer, Jack Balfour, for 3. Curry, Rabayo. And that's transition. The 2 stars for the Cougs making that look really easy.
It's very fluid.
That was a nice inside transition from Tobias Prawl, and I just think, you know, this team is kind of feeling its way out. I have no idea who number, oh no, I thought it was a 12, I'm sorry. This is Maurice Williams. And now a baseline drive, and in the middle is nearly a travel from Vincent Muse, but instead Balfour will regather and re-trigger. Vlasic. Cougs have switched into this matchup zone that looks like man, and here is a 3 from Prawl is good. So give the Hornets some credit. They have shot it well from the outside here to keep it close in the early going. Lainez played some really tough minutes last night as Curry. He's going to fire away from way downtown. And does he get a shooter's roll? No, but Linez has got it. Nearly traveled with it, and instead Hamilton comes down with it. And Curry with a body check.
Some up-tempo basketball happening right now.
I don't know that they they would have had to have called a foul. I didn't see any official signal, but I mean, that's probably about as
yeah, we got him one.
Obvious a call there as you can make. Maurice Williams is in no particular hurry for Hamilton. We talked about this in the preseason game when Nottingham was here, that Hamilton's broken down into a couple of different districts as they're going to have a no call on the inside. So the ball will stay with Hamilton. That was one of those, you split the difference. I don't really want to call a charge, and I don't really want to call a block, so we'll just call it out of bounds and let you keep it. Rubaio's got to watch if he doesn't get the ball thrown off his back here.
Yeah.
Dribble drive, and going to get Christian Rowan on a foul. Hamilton is one of 3 high schools in the township. Hamilton West is generally just referred to as Hamilton. Hamilton North is referred to as Nottingham, and Hamilton East is referred to as Steinert. There is no South School in Hamilton, so just divided up into those 3. Good job defensively by Montgomery off the inbound. You can see the ball handling ability of Prahl is pretty good there as Rubaio challenges and the long rebound to the Hornets.
And you got to start getting some of these defensive boards coming down with it. It seems like Hamilton's doing a great job offensively if they don't make the basket, making the board.
It's one of those things as Rowan nearly gets a steal. That if Rubaio is going to hedge out that hard to the ball and make a play on it, he's got to get there. Another good no call by the officials.
Looks like Hamilton's just driving and dishing. They're not looking to take it into the basket.
Yeah. I think if things continue like this, as Balford will drive and dish. Rubaio comes up with a block. It's on the ground. Balford has it again.
Another offensive
and Williams still on the ground, and Rowan finally comes up with it. And here comes Prescott.
I feel like we haven't been on offense for quite some time. 12 seconds left.
Prescott driving, scoop shot, no good. Rubaio for the putback, no good. And another third chance layup. That one's Linez up and good.
There he goes. Good job.
And that'll take us to the end of quarter number 1. A great way to finish things off here for the Cougs. Second quarter coming up right after this. You are caught in the mire. It's the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Welcome back here to Montgomery. Keith Glock, Joe Bassford. Listen to me as I'm looking at Joe Bassford. I'm saying his name. Matt Polk, Tim Bartholomew, and Mandy Shovlin. And Mandy, what was the message in the Cougar huddle there between the first and second quarter?
Well, Coach Grundy was telling the players that the offensive rebounds are really going to change this game, and just got to keep it and keep them stop them from shooting on the outside, because that's where they're getting most of their buckets. So that's what he was saying in the huddle.
I agree. Offensive rebounds are going to be a factor here. Linez, I think, will continue to play a big part in what happens.
He was also talking about containing and keeping them contained and trying to keep this game in their control rather than giving control to the Hamilton team.
No over the back call there, but out of bounds.
I think it's a big quarter right now, trying to get some space in between us and them.
They're doing so many things to try to get Rubio the ball. And he needed some help there. Good job by Rowan to realize that Williams wasn't really face guarding Curry. That's a lazy pass by Curry. And it's going to end up in an easy bucket for Hamilton. That's something you can't have from your point guard.
No, definitely not. He's got to make sure that those passing lanes are open, and he's got to make sure that he's making nice, crisp passes.
Rubio is going to hoist from 3. Yes, top of the key 3 for the big man.
He does it all.
Second day in a row where, a team has edged close and then, a big bucket. And just an error there, miscommunication from Hamilton.
Big opportunity here to get another basket and pull away and just kind of take the momentum away from Hamilton.
I'll be interested to see if, as the season goes on, the bench gets lengthened at all by Grundy. Because right now I think it's a bit of a short bench.
And he does have some...
As Curry will fire, no good.
He definitely has some players that could get some playing time. I like Shaw. Shaw could get in there, do a good job for us. He did really well in last year, so... Shaw. What did I say, Shaw?
Shaw.
Yeah, I meant Shaw.
You could tell him he changed his name. That's okay.
Yeah. Wow.
We had a funny, if you go to the YouTube, or just on myradio.com, as you scroll to the bottom through the playlist of videos, if you want to, at the half out there in Meyerland, players all did their intros, so just in case, starting lineups, shuffle or anything like that, we had some player intros, and the outtakes were pretty funny. To get guys just to say their actual name without laughing is proved to be a bit of a labor.
Oh, yeah, because they definitely try to do it like the NFL guys, straight-faced,
It didn't go very well. It eventually went well, put it that way.
Yeah.
Here's pressure, and we haven't seen anything really kind of like this. But a good job by Kai Lewis to handle it. And a good job there. I think that entry pass from Linez needed to be as hot as it was, because it needed to be, the timing needed to be there because of the way the help was coming. So.
Oh, yeah, there was two options. Either he got that in there and they got an easy basket, or they had to foul him.
Right. Good back cut by Vlasic, even though he didn't receive it. Curry got kind of ringed around the neck there on the way by, but no call. And a steal as Hamilton comes the other way. And another easy layup for Williams, and we're tied at 15.
Hamilton doing a great job right now transitioning, getting those boards and getting down there quick and getting easy layups.
Curry now gets a screen from Rubio and a steal. Second turnover of the quarter for Curry, and an easy layup. Timeout coming from the Cougs. A little bit of a run here from Hamilton, so we'll take the timeout with Coach Grundy. Cougs trail it by a pair. You're caught in the mire. It's the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Welcome back here to the Den. Hamilton West going on a bit of a run there. And they now lead it by a pair. First time in 2019-2020 that the Cougs have trailed.
5 quarters is a good deal.
Yeah. Interesting to see how Montgomery will respond coming out of that timeout. I think you could visibly see the coaching staff upset with just the kind of effort and understanding of what he was asking for on offense.
Just a lot of pressure.
Yep. Lineups. And another steal. Can Curry get it back? He can. Between two and lays it in. Fortunate there for Curry. You saw exactly what Hamilton wants, is what Kai Lewis did there, is to dribble into that space and pick up his dribble. Rabayo gets a hand on the basketball, and now Montgomery is able to push the other direction. Curry, though, spinning out of trouble.
Just a great handle.
Linez muscles his way inside for a bucket.
That's what he's going to bring you. I mean, he's going to bring opportunities and plays like that, and that was a huge basket, get us back up by 2.
Well, you wonder how they're going to respond, and so far, every time they've been called upon in a moment of adversity, or this team has responded on the young season. Another good hedge by Rabayo. Midway through quarter number 2. Vlasic will close out, and a 3 as a little taunting going on there as Williams turns over to the Montgomery student section and tells them what for. A little surprised the student section didn't react at all, because that was a pretty obvious taunt as Rabayo will drive to the lane and he's going to be fouled.
It's a good take.
Yep. You saw the athletic ability, though, of Jamaj Walker as he was able to, even though he was beaten on the play, sky high enough to get enough of Rabayo to alter that shot. First free throw, no good from Chris, and he's been so good from the line.
A lot of substitutions for Hamilton West.
You can tell just by the nature of the offense that Hamilton is running that they're very confident in their outside shooters. A lot of screens for threes. As Rabayo is 1 of 2 from the line, and he has pulled Montgomery even here, just past the midway point of quarter number 2. Curry goes for the steal and gets it, and he'll race the other direction. And with the left hand, you see his athletic ability there over and over again.
That's what he'll bring you, a little bit of aggressiveness and opportunities.
Hamilton starting to figure out a little bit where the ball needs to go off of these high screens. But Montgomery's playing good team defense thus far. Balfour doubled. Good job by Prescott there to be on ball but not so hyper aggressive that he picks up a cheapie. He's proven himself to me, I think, to be a really intelligent player through the first game and a half.
Yeah, very analytical, making sure that he's in the right place at the right time.
A nice ball fake inside from Jarrell Hall results in a bucket. Good job by Linez on the entry pass to Rabayo there.
And he's already having a much better game than last night. And last night he didn't play poorly, but he's playing really sound basketball right now.
I think that's what the Montgomery team is trying to do, trying to get Rabayo the ball so he can get some easy buckets for them.
Another shot up and good off the window from Dalvin Abreu.
Yeah, ideally we would want him underneath getting the ball.
I like how the officials are calling this game as well, as Curry's going to drive and kick. Kai Lewis is wide open, and they're going to call it travel. Yep, and unfortunate because that rainbow went down for the second time.
Yeah, insult to injury right there. Well, much closer than anticipated, right?
Yep.
Or, well, at least what we were hoping for.
Correct. But we'll take good basketball games every day of the week if we can. Welcome to the Mire. Keith Glock, Matt Pogue, Tim Bartholomew, Mandy Shavlin, live from the Cougar Deck. Balfour, as they take a run out on him, and good job by Prescott, and they're going to say that's out of bounds. Curry kind of shouting some demands at the Cougar bench. Right off the inbound, a layup from Balford's no good, but he corrals his own rebound, and Rubio had just kind of extended out a little too far to be able to help. Curry's got to work into the middle of the court, I think. And he did so there to get space, and that's another lazy pass, as the layup is no good, but Hamilton there again to follow up is Williams.
That's a walk.
Rubio saves it from going out of bounds. Good hustle there as Curry nearly had it stolen, and Coach Grundy will call a timeout to save it, save a possession, and he's hot as we're under a minute to go. So let's keep it here with you as we only have 37 seconds to go before the half, and this would be a great spot for a bucket to get even. I don't think, and correct me if you think I'm wrong, Montgomery's played nearly as efficiently today as they did yesterday.
No, I think it's a little bit more sloppy this time. Just the passes aren't as crisp. The cuts to the basket and the open shots aren't as plentiful as they were last night.
I think that Hamilton is almost urging you to try to throw those passes like Montgomery's thrown in the last possession, and then off of that steal, those lengthy passes, they have the team speed to make up that ground.
Yeah. And another thing that Hamilton's doing a great job is just time of possession. And I don't know if that's really a thing in basketball,
right,
but they have been taking a long time to score when they have their set offense, but then they've also been transitioning well when they get the steal.
So let's see if the Cougs can come up with something here before the half. Curry. Now to the post. Two guys quickly, immediately. They'll kick it back out. Prescott in rhythm. No good. Front rim. It's knocked up and out of bounds. Curry looked like he was going to have a beat on that one. But you can't blame Rubio.
No.
Prescott's momentum was taking him just a hair away from the basket. And it's almost like he needed to put just a little more oomph on that. Balford will step back for three. That's way off the mark. But a rebound again to Hamilton, and now a steal from Lewis, and that'll do it. So that'll take us into the half. Cougs trail it by 2. We are going to take a break, and we'll be back with some statistics and analysis of the first half right after this. You are caught in the mire. This is the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Time of boys basketball. Cougs trail it by a pair, 26-24 to Hamilton. Keith Glock, Matt Pogue, Tim Bartholomew, Mandy Shavlin with you. Mandy, get us caught up on some halftime statistics if you would.
Yep, so coming out of the first half, Curry had 9 points. Rubio had 8 points. I thought it was interesting. He also had 4 blocks, which is usual of him because of his height. Prescott only with 3 points, which is a lot less than last night. Something that was interesting. And then Lainez with 4 points. And after looking at these stats, I think coming into the second half, the playmakers really have to step up, like Curry, Rubio, and Prescott. Got to step up in the second half for the Cougars to be successful.
Need some buckets. Haven't really gotten any opportunities for Prescott either, though. You know, I mean, he really only had the 2. I think he only took 2 shots in that first half.
I mean, one of the main differences is last night when they passed out of the double team, the shooters were open and the pass got there. Today, that pass isn't getting there. It's floating, it's hanging up, and then they're just capitalizing, getting steals.
Yeah, Hamilton, I think the team speed of Hamilton is obviously noticeably higher than Peaburg's, and that has affected what Montgomery's been able to do, and I just think you can't be careless with the basketball. It's pretty much that simple.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're getting impatient. I think it's more just our offense isn't doing what we expected it to do, so I'm just going to try and force a pass because why isn't this working? Why isn't Rubio able to get the post position and then pass out of the double team? And
I think Hamilton's doing a good job dictating the pace of the game too. They're taking Montgomery out of their rhythm. They're dictating the pace in regards to sometimes they're going quick pace, sometimes they're going slow, but they're the ones making the decision, and it's not really us getting into our tempo, our game. So I think it's important that coming out here in the second half that we do that. We play our game and try to dictate the pace.
And I think that now this is just, and I haven't talked to the coaches, so I might be totally wrong here, and maybe this is just a function of how the first game and a half has gone. But it feels like Montgomery plays better offensively in unsettled and transition than they do out of the half-court set.
Yeah, 100%. I think that when they get into the half-court set, they're almost disappointed that we couldn't get set up faster and catch the defense off guard because we know that we have quick players that can get into the paint and then immediately score rather than let's run some action and let's see what we can get.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It almost seems like there's some indecision, as well, even in some of those transition opportunities. But it's kind of in stark contrast to Hamilton, where I think in the half court, it looks like they have thrived because they know exactly who they are. And that is a team that can shoot it from the outside. And, rarely do you see teams run this many kind of like ball screens with another back screen to get a guy open. It's Golden State Warriors-esque where you're running a guy all the way around the set, and he probably runs through 2 or even 3 screens sometimes to try to get him maybe even 1 or 2 steps just so that he can shoot a 3 on the run. And, that's hard. It's hard to do.
Yeah.
But it seems to be what Hamilton's good at, so give them credit for understanding themselves.
You got to play your game. I noticed also that they're really trying to take the shots, outside shots, at least from the corners. Seems like that's their money spot.
And one of the problems, too, is when Rubio comes out to hedge, he's out of the paint, and that's where he's most effective. And then some of these shooters, they're not open because they hedge and they stop that. But then somebody drives to the lane, and Rubio's not there to be waiting for him.
Is the hedge too aggressive?
I think so. I think it works, but I think that it really can't be him. If it's another guard that comes over from the corner, that might be more useful because then Rubio can still stay home. And then the other guard, if he gets beat, you might have an open 3, but at least you're not getting the drive immediately.
I think that, to your point there, that sometimes you're forced into that situation, right, depending on who's setting the screen. But he's been so aggressive hedging. He's gone way out past the screener. And I understand that you want to, you're hedging for a reason because you want to prevent a 3-point opportunity. But I think maybe he's gone a step too far. Maybe just that one step because of his length. If he gets even with the screener, his height and reach will be able to affect them the way that they want him to. There it is right off the inbound. Curry high up off the window, no good. And Curry went up and kind of grabbed his head and said, That's a play that just brings you back to Kevin Vermelt. I mean, how many layup opportunities over the last 2 years did he get off of that inbounds play? Lewis. Montgomery still in that matchup zone as a drive and a kick. Good closeout and a mid-range jumper, no good. Back iron. Prescott takes it to his ear. David Tyree style.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same exact thing. Could have played for the Giants.
Grundy's not happy, boy. Oy, oy, oy. As we get a block, but Rabayo, and now looks like Montgomery's going to get bailed out there. A couple missed opportunities on that possession.
Just got to recompose themselves.
They're going to say that one touched by Hamilton and then went off the chest of Curry. And a turnover. So we're just underway here in the third quarter, and Montgomery trails it by a bucket. Balford gets Rabayo up in the air and goes to the baseline for an easy deuce.
Got to keep your feet.
Yeah, you know what? But then that's when he knocks down a three.
Yeah, but he wasn't really in a position where he was a good shooting position on that one.
You hear the Hamilton coaches yelling, hands, hands, as soon as Prescott receives the basketball.
See, I would actually like to see Kai take that shot. It was open.
I agree.
I know that's not his forte, but it was a good look.
See, I think that he can shoot it pretty well from the outside.
I mean, so far this season, he's done nothing but show that he can, so.
And we'll get a foul. Jamaj Walker's second of the game. First team foul either direction in the second half.
Need a good inbound play right here. Get a quick bucket.
Prescott will fire away. Far side, no good. I think Hamilton got a piece of it, and they're coming the other way. Vlasic, like a good cornerback, closing in and knocking that one out of bounds. I'm impressed with Jack Balford. I think he's a really smooth player.
Yeah, he's been pretty impressive so far this first half and in the beginning of the second.
Nearly a turnover for Hamilton. It was a wild-looking pass from Jarrell Hall, but found its mark. Prescott, good aggressive D. And an entry pass is going to be ripped away by Prescott, and Kai Lewis will come the other direction. He tries a no-look pass, and that sends Grundy's play sheet to the ground.
It's just really a lack of patience at this point. You know, they're getting some good turnovers and driving to the basket, but then they make, an ill-advised pass just to try to create something to happen.
That pace, I think, was a little bit too fast. I think had Kai slowed up just a little bit, then maybe the trailer, like we were talking about last night, who would have been Prescott again, I think that, you create that chaos in transition and then maybe find the trailer and they end up losing him. Vlasic. Like to see him turn up the pressure a little bit if he could. Step back three is good. Maurice Williams.
They're really shooting well tonight.
Yep, another triple for the Hornets. Curry, and now Prescott. They go to the post. Good job by Rabayo to rip it away from Balford and come up with an easy layup.
I think that's what the Cougars needed. Maybe that'll get them going into the second half.
Let's see.
A little momentum shift.
Yep.
Balfour. And he's got it taken away by Kai Lewis. Here's Rabayo. He'll throw it up for Curry. And the sophomore will lay it in and one.
Look at Mandy. Yeah, look at Mandy calling it. Just what we needed.
Cougs turning the tides a little bit here as the third foul of the afternoon on Jamaj Walker. And we're going to take a timeout from Hamilton. We'll take it with them. Montgomery creeping back into it as they trail it by just 3. We'll be back right after this. You're caught in the mire. It's the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Welcome back to the Den. Keith Glock, Matt Polk, Tim Bartholomew, Mandy Shavlin. As Ryan Curry steps to the line to try to cap off this three-point play. We talked about it in the pregame. Juice just absolutely lacking in the Den.
Different atmosphere tonight than there was, or today than there was last night.
No doubt.
Curry able to capitalize. Brings us within 2.
Lewis.
And this is what Kai brings.
Can he get a 5 here? No. Oh, Grundy wanted a push-off or a 5. A kick to the corner, and just like that, a three-pointer is up and good. And that time it was Narelle Hampton. That's a killer, man.
Yeah.
You almost get a 5, or you think you draw an offensive foul, and instead it turns into 3 the other direction. Oh, Prescott needed to rotate that over the top. Curry, Prescott. Kicking. As Prescott loses the handle, and they're going to throw up ahead. Williams, he'll race to the rim and lay it in.
That was a really excellent pass, though. You got it right to where he needed to be.
Speaking of passing, I think the Cougars need to clean up their passing. That's what'll help them get some opportunities rather than just giving it away to the other team.
Prescott, and now Linez. Another great lob inside, and Rabayo is just shoved in the back, and I think that's actually probably was the right move.
Otherwise, it's an easy 2 points for him. He's got to earn them now. So this is going to go show a lot to the Cougars' character here, like how we're able to respond to being down. I think they're up for the challenge.
Yeah. Rabayo's first one is no good. Prescott will get a break as Rowan will come back in the ball game. So Rabayo just 1 of 3 from the line today. Cougs, as they trail by 5, Rabayo trying to cut into that lead. And he does. Montgomery's really got to turn it up here just from an intensity standpoint. It looks like they've kind of like sleptwalked through a piece of this and, now just don't have any choice but to, kind of hit the afterburners as Rowan is going to pick up a foul.
Yeah, I know Coach Grundy really prides himself on the Cougars defense, and right now we are, we're not holding up our end of the bargain.
Yep.
But that can change. There's still a lot of time left. 11 minutes left to go.
Second foul of the game on Rowan. Just the first team foul. And that's a super late substitution, especially because it was the guy who's going to be taking the ball out. It's a bit more conspicuous when something like that happens. Good job defensively to switch. This is where Kai Lewis excels, because he's certainly the twitchiest defender, and it's a drive and a kick, and another wide open three is good.
I just don't know why we're leaving the corners open.
Yep.
That's where they want to be.
You tell Grundy was not happy with that.
How could you tell?
Can't hide those things anymore. When we truly were the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience, it was a lot of potentially us just describing the action. And you get to take a look.
See it now.
That's it. Curry, he's going to hoist away. That's no good. Short. And Linus streaking in, and he is going to
jump.
The jump ball. Listen, that's why he's in there.
He brings a lot to the table.
And they actually ended up calling a foul and not a jump ball, which I think when you know, based on Linus had, 85% of the possession on that thing.
Just the way things are going tonight, I was kind of thinking that they were going to call a jump.
Yep. And a bounce pass into the middle is stolen again by Hamilton. Rowan is going to hack the shooter, which was Dalvin Abreu. Let's see if he was shooting three or not. Yeah, he is shooting three. Eric Shaw is going to come into the ball game for the first time this season for Montgomery.
I was actually wondering if that was going to happen.
Yeah.
You need to get some life, see if he can bring it.
Hamilton hasn't obviously seen him at all yet this year, so don't really know what to expect. Cougs get a break there. Still a long time to go in this ball game, as we're going to get the ball missed, but they would have called a violation on Abreu anyhow. And he's 0 for 3, and somehow the ball finds its way into the hands of Hamilton. And they're going to get a foul. You hear Grundy saying every loose ball is theirs. I don't disagree with him, to be honest with you.
It's a big part of basketball, definitely winning those 50-50 balls. That's what changes the pace of the game and decides who's going to make the pace of the game.
This potentially well, I guess if Linez was out and Vlasic was in, you could say that would be the most potent offensive lineup, but this certainly would be a 1A in terms of offensive scoring ability here. Linez probably with the least innate ability to score the basketball, but the shooters here, Shara was wide open in the corner. Prescott, I think, was looking for Rubio to roll the opposite way, and
just a little miscommunication.
Yep. I think if he had rotated to the corner one pass earlier, Shar would have been firing away. Another quick three from Hamilton. That will rattle in and out, and the ball will be picked up by Curry, but it's on the floor, and now back for Hamilton.
Hamilton is just hustling, man. They are hustling to every ball. Every loose ball in the court, every lazy pass.
Vincent Muse is hurt. He's hanging onto his hand.
That stuff happens, you know?
It does.
Name of the game.
Balford will get the inbound as Linez will pressure out. And, that's one of those things. It's like, to use the analogy to football, it's like holding in football. They'll give you a little bit, and you got to let go after a certain while. And there was just enough contact there that the officials had to call something.
Yeah, I mean, he was beat, but he held on just a little bit too long.
I think if you cede just a little bit of that angle, after that first step or two, you get away with that first bit of contact. Great entry pass and an offensive foul. First one that Montgomery has drawn this year, Ryan Curry.
Great job just to step up and take that because he was a little bit out of control, so it was an easy one to get.
So we get another sub back into the ball game, Michael Vera. So under a minute to go. If Montgomery can grab a bucket here and get just a little bit closer, I think that changes some things for the final 8 minutes. Rubio. Now Curry. He's going to hoist from the corner. Yes! Boy, was that needed right there.
That's what they needed. That's what they got.
Now defensively got to pick it up. Got to get the loose balls, got to get the rebounds.
And Rubio with a block.
Got to get the blocks.
That's it. You know, you talk about just we had absolutely no juice whatsoever. Curry knocks down that three. If you can somehow get a stop and another bucket here before the fourth quarter, like that changes pretty much everything.
Yeah.
So let's see. Can Hamilton, though, they've been pretty fantastic at answering. Drive and a kick. Rubio hedging out and no good. Prescott's got the rebound and it'll end up in the capable hands of Curry. He throws up ahead for Rubio and he'll lay it in.
There's some momentum, baby. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Lead down to 4. Under 10 seconds to go in the quarter. Got to step up. Got to step up. Can't give Balford any room. With 5 now, 4. He'll get into the lane. Curry with a block and he comes down with it. Oh, and they just teed up Curry.
Oh, jeez, come on.
All the momentum you had just withered away there as Curry with the obvious emotion and just teed him up. Balford is going to shoot these free throws before the quarter ends. You got to hope that maybe he gifts them something.
I doubt it. I mean, he's been pretty solid so far this game, but
yeah,
stranger things have happened.
It is the truth. And knocks down the first. Man, that's a killer. That is a killer. It's not the schoolyard. And that'll take us to the break. 3 quarters in the books. It's a 6-point lead for Hamilton. We'll be back final 8 minutes right after this. You're caught in the mire. It's the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Welcome back here to Montgomery. We get set to start the fourth quarter. Keith Glock, Matt Pogue, Tim Bartholomew, Mandy Shavlin with you in the den. Happy holidays, everybody. It's our first day of the break. And Hamilton fortunate to get 2 freebies. Ooh, nearly. Now you have to
be all the way across.
Yeah, you got to establish. And nearly a steal. Good job by Prescott, and a really athletic move. Rubio just leaving his feet maybe a half second too early to really be effective in blocking that shot. Entry pass for the 6'9" junior, and he can't get the layup to go.
Seems to be what there. That entry passes usually come from Linez. I feel like he's got that little extra height that just makes it a little bit easier for him to get that pass into.
It's something we talked about with Linez, though. Rubio was half guilty of it there. I think you got to just keep that ball as high as you can, and the moment your toes tap, you're back up off the court, and it's got to be a layup. And no good on the first one.
A lot of points left on the floor, man.
Yep. Rubio is about as patient a free throw shooter as there is, and he knocks down the second one. Curry. Matched up on Balford for the moment. And they go to the corner. Rubio trying to step out.
And back under.
Yeah, prevents Narelle Hampton from firing away. There's Williams with another step back. That's no good. And Curry ends up with it. He's going to throw up ahead for Prescott. Matty with a great job to Sky. And he ends up throwing it off the back of the backboard, and a foul by Linus. I think you got to just go to the hoop there, right? You come down with that thing. I mean, defender is in a vulnerable spot.
I feel like he was in a position where he didn't feel confident that he'd make the layup and thought it might be a better idea to pass it out. And he was in a position where he's just too far underneath the basket to make that happen.
Well, I think you're seeing, an inexperienced team working through some of that inexperience.
Well, a lot of these guys aren't used to being the guy. And, a play like that, you expect them to step up and do it.
30-second timeout for Hamilton, so we'll keep you here. Cougs trail it by 7, and certainly a stark contrast to yesterday in terms of a momentum standpoint. Montgomery's really never gotten it rolling the way they did yesterday. And, back-to-back possessions with back-to-back buckets has been pretty hard to come by.
Yeah, our shots really haven't been falling. We haven't actually had that many open shots. Hamilton's been doing a good job closing in on the three-pointers and not providing us the opportunities that we're looking for. So we got to create it. They have to find a way to create it in the next 3-6 minutes.
And for some reason the lead feels bigger than it is right now. Basketball happens that way where the climate of a game just, goes a certain direction. But, you are a bucket, a stop, and a bucket, and, you're in a one-possession game.
Yeah, I think it feels that way because Hamilton's been doing a great job of every time we get momentum, doing something to take it away from us.
Could also be, I feel like the atmosphere has changed a lot from last night compared to today. It could be the student section maybe not being as loud, or the teams, or the fact that we're trailing by not that much, but the atmosphere could make the trailing seem a lot more than it actually is.
Williams is going to get called for the foul.
And we're in the 1-and-1.
Cougs in the bonus, and Curry will go to the line. That was just a silly foul by Williams.
So now these free throws are even more important.
Yeah. And Wow gets that one to go. It's the shooter's roll.
Little love right there, little love.
For all you kids out there who don't think rotation on the basketball on your shot is important. And he's 2 for 2.
All right, here we go.
Let's get it going. Now's the time to get it going.
They don't commit that technical foul before the quarter break, and it's a 3-point game, right? Good job by Montgomery to close out on the shooters. There's the stop. Find Prescott. That was the trailer there. Here comes the double. Right in the middle. Linus with some contact.
There you go. There you go.
That's the momentum that they definitely needed. And the student section is even riled up about that one.
Yeah, you got to get up on your feet, guys. Let's go.
Linus with a chance to cut it to a point. Full timeout for Hamilton with the free throw coming from Linus. We'll take it with him. 5:51 left to go here in the Den, and Montgomery within striking distance. You're caught in the mire. It's the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Welcome back to the Den. I just got a good email.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing.
Listen, first half of lacrosse schedule is released by the end of the weekend.
Oh.
Merry Christmas to me. Linez misses the free throw, and they're going to get a foul. Let's see if they get Rubio or Vlasic. They'll get Vlasic.
I guess I know what you'll be doing this weekend now.
Right.
Everybody's in a bonus.
Jamaj Walker, a little bit of pressure here for him. This is kind of where you would hope the student section gets excited, but they don't. And Walker earns himself a second. This one all of a sudden has the temperature of a game that's going to come down to the wire. 2 for 2 for Jamaj Walker. I was interested to see if Hamilton was going to pressure, and Montgomery was ready for it as Prescott kind of stayed there, but no dice. Curry driving, kicking, Prescott, top of the key, yes!
Big time, big time. Let's do it.
I was shocked. You could see Prescott going, you almost hear his brain going, this is exactly where I want to be.
I know, just salivating. Like, just give me a ball.
Get this thing to me as the Red Sea parts. 2-point game here in the Den.
The corner again, jeez.
Rubio's got to stay on his feet there, boy. Good job by Prescott.
Wow.
And a tough layup inside. Got to give a lot of credit to Walker.
That was a great pass and then just a nicer layup.
Curry as the double comes. Rubio. Prescott was trying to move to space, but couldn't. Linez with some space. Another tough layup, no good. Tipped back out. Prescott's got the second chance. Watch his back. Curry will throw the lob. Rubio goes up to get it. And he goes back out instead. Prescott, another one. Yes!
Yes! My man, come on!
Cougs within a point.
1-point game.
Feed my man the ball.
Midway point of quarter number 4. Montgomery's within a point, 47-46. Prescott gets a hand on it and a steal. Rubio is saying to Curry, can you come get this thing, please?
Yeah.
I'd appreciate that.
I'd like you to take this and pass it to Prescott.
Linez for Rubio. Bunch of extra passes. I would have loved to seen Vlasic pull there. Linez instead, no fear, to the hole. Marco with a tough bucket, and the Cougs lead it.
Confidence, baby. Getting that confidence back.
No silly foul from Vlasic. Good job.
Just keep it going.
Cougar bench getting excited. You can see a defensive change in the approach of how Montgomery is approaching the shooters. Here's another 3 from the corner. That's no good. Curry with a huge box out, and he will get it to Rubio. He throws all the way up for Vlasic. He comes back to it like a good receiver does. And now for Curry. He thought about a long 3 instead. To the lane with the left hand. No good. He's got his own rebound. Kicks for Prescott. Another 3.
No shot.
Timeout from Grundy.
Well, that worked, you know? He just knew. He just knew in his body that it was a better time for a timeout than a three-pointer.
Let's stay here. It always gets fun this time of the game when things like that happen.
Oh, buddy.
Cougs lead it by a point. 48-47. They've come back, and all of a sudden there's life here in the building. And 2 games in the, well, nearly 2 games in the books now, and for this game in 3 quarters, the spark plug offensively, Timmy, has been Matty Prescott.
Yeah, he's been coming up big. I mean, he had a slow start to this game. He didn't really know that he was going to be a factor like he was last night, but 2 gigantic three-pointers in this quarter gets Montgomery back to the lead, and hopefully we keep it, and he's going to be a big reason why we walk away with a victory.
consistency, I mean, as an outside shooter, the consistency in your form is just so important. And every three that he's taken, make or miss so far this year, is, kind of had that form. Vlasic, he's wide open. Oh, I thought he was going to hoist away, but instead he's going to draw a foul and go to the free throw line.
All right. It's 2 shots, baby. 2 big, big shots.
I was going to say, they are going to say 1 and 1. I was looking back up at the foul. I thought,
oh, yeah, you're right.
Maybe they were.
I was a little premature.
Yeah. No good. Robayo, can he get the rebound? He cannot. Instead, Williams will race the other direction, and he nearly loses it. Good job by Curry to hedge, and a long three is no good. And, it's one of those things for outside shooting teams. As hot as they started, they've gone a little cold, and that's going to happen. Linez's entry pass is just a little too tall, and instead Montgomery steals it back. Robayo misses a layup. He misses another, and somehow magically Balford's going to come down with that. Wow, that's a really, really big set of missed opportunities for the Cougs.
Yeah, just that pass was a little bit too high. Caught the rim before Robayo could get it. And set that chain of
But even
events.
after that, I mean,
it was just sloppy at that point,
I know when you're Prescott, you go, all right, well, I got the big man underneath there as, wow, Montgomery gets a break as Balford misses the front end of a 1-and-1.
I don't think they expected that.
No, but Robayo was out of bounds on that last play, and he just kind of had to come back inbounds to get the basketball, and I think that was tough.
Just not a good position to make the basket.
Curry crosses over and goes to the baseline. Leaves to the middle. Vlasic is rejected. Linez throws it in the middle, and Robayo will try to come up with another offensive rebound. That was an unbelievable no call as Prescott gets run over, and they are going to say a blocking foul. Now,
I mean, he was coming with some heat.
I'd
Big
like
time.
to watch the replay on that one.
If we only had it. Maybe next game.
Look like a little too much. He looks like he's down.
Yeah, that's Williams, and I mean that's about as athletic a move as you're going to see from a young man, and obviously I hope he's everything's okay there. Really surprised going back a possession that Linez wasn't called for a foul. I think the official underneath might have just been screened off, to be honest, but
couldn't quite catch it.
So we'll take a quick break here as the Hamilton injury being tended to with Maurice Williams. We'll be right back. You're caught in the mire. It's the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Welcome back. Maurice Williams is up off the deck, and we'll see. I'm not quite exactly sure how what the rules are to handle this, if he has to get substituted for, or and we'll see. 30-second timeout from Coach Grundy. Now, the way it works in a lot of other sports, I'm not exactly sure what the basketball rule is. We're going to figure it out in a second, because Williams would be going to the line to shoot too. But when you have to stop the game for an injury, a lot of the time you're being forced to sub out. And I don't know if that is the case here or not. So if Williams stays out on the court, then we know it's not. And he is being allowed to stay out there.
Looks pretty good.
Interesting, and I think smart decision as Williams knocks down the first. No Hamilton players in the paint because everybody's in the double bonus, and they don't want to commit a foul with the big trees underneath there because the likelihood of... Great. Now, how about how about that as turn into the Cougar Den again there from Williams to potentially taunt the Den. Here's Rabayo. And now Prescott. Linus and Vlasic. Prescott with a good ball fake. Rabayo, extra pass Linus on the blocks. Oh, Prescott has some room. He steps into the lane, knocks it down.
That's it, baby. Let's go. Keep doing it. Keep doing it.
Cougs snag the lead back. We approach a minute to play here in Montgomery. This second game of the season, boy, year after year tends to bring something like this.
Oh, man.
The last 3 years, this is how it's been.
So anxious right now.
Here's a rip and a drive, and Balford, wow, skying to save it from going out of bounds. Prescott, great defense, and Rabayo's got the rebound.
I think they're just going to try and run out the clock here.
Well, yeah, they're going to get him fouled.
Draw a foul, yeah.
Curry gets it over the timeline, and Hamilton backs off.
I'm surprised they don't foul him right now.
Yeah, you got to go after him, I think. I mean,
he's just eating that clock away.
Everybody get out of his way. I mean, I don't even know why Rabayo's going up there. You're just inviting the double team at that point.
I'm surprised they took 30 seconds off the clock. Well, you knew you were going to foul him eventually. Yep,
you may as well do it.
You might as well just, as soon as he crossed the midcourt line.
2 free throws coming here from the sophomore captain.
Oh, my goodness. First one.
Oh, and he's going to, they're going to, ooh, I don't know. You got to at least ask for the violation if it doesn't go here. But it went, so it didn't matter. Maurice Williams, you're not allowed inside the three-point arc once the shooter has the ball if you're outside of it prior to getting it.
All right, so that was a big one. This one's a huge one.
Well, as we always say, under a minute to go, despite the timeout, no reason to leave. Let's keep you here. Montgomery 51 and Hamilton 49. This is the first game of the holiday break for Montgomery. And so far on this basketball season, it's been an exciting game in 9/10. Ryan Curry going to the line to try to increase the lead to 3 points, which, Timmy, today, Hamilton's proven that multiple guys can shoot it with not a ton of room.
Yeah, I was really impressed with their shooting ability. Maybe a little bit I didn't expect, but really, that win at Hopewell seems, even more impressive now. They seem like a pretty solid team. Hopefully we can hold it together here.
I'm impressed with the experience, because of the inexperience of this team, the lack of hesitation, by a lot of guys with, playing their first serious minutes.
A lot of in a game like this, right out the gate, yesterday it was like it never, like you said, never felt like they had anything to worry about. Today, they're impressing me. It's a tough game to play when you don't have a lot of experience.
Curry's got it.
Oh, that was huge, huge.
Forget about icing the kicker. No need there.
Now they just got to play those corners, really.
No silly fouls. Step out to the threes.
Make them earn this.
18 seconds to go. And can they get a steal? Nearly a travel, no call. Balford.
10 seconds left.
This is an interesting matchup. Just don't foul him there. Good job by Rabayo. Loses the handle. Can they get it? Vlasic does. Timeout. And Grundy gets the timeout. He was asking for it, and he got it.
My goodness.
With 3 seconds to go, that will just about do it. Boy,
wow. That's a pull away. They really pulled this one away.
Oh.
3 seconds is a lot of time, though. You never know.
3 seconds is an eternity. Essentially, you got to find a successful way to inbound the basketball, right?
That's it.
If you can inbound it and go to the free throw line, 2 free throws certainly. 1 free throw ices it.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to guess this inbound is going to go to somebody who's Rabayo.
It'll be interesting to see what they draw up there because I think Hamilton probably knows that, right?
Yeah. Knowing it and stopping it are 2 different things.
To me, this moment is the difference between a guy who's been a head coach for 1 year and a guy who's been a head coach for 14 years, like Coach Grundy is. How much comfortability do I have to literally, he just walked over there, grabbed the whiteboard and said, here's what we're doing, and let's get it done. It's not like, well, hey, do we have one for the situation? We got one.
He has one for every situation.
We're good. Vlasic will inbound.
Get it in.
Lainez. And they're going to say out of bounds with 1.6.
3 seconds is a lot of time, so it was 1.6.
Wow. Now they got to inbound it, right?
Yes, they do.
This is going to be, just don't foul them on the prayer.
No fouls on the 3 here. 1.6. Tommy Molar's backing Rubio up just a little bit.
Do your best to.
He doesn't want the baseball pass. 2 seconds with 1. They're not going to get a shot off. What a great job.
Nicely done, fellas. Nicely done.
Montgomery is going to win this basketball game 52-49 thanks to some fantastic play in the 4th quarter. Wow.
Yeah, the right guy stepped up at the right time. That's a big win.
That's the kind of win that, we talked about it in the pregame. It's foundational for a team to be able to, get a win where you were down most of the game, and to come back and have that happen is just that against a really athletic team. That's a great victory.
You got to give Hamilton West an incredible amount of credit.
They had a great game.
Yeah, they played it extremely well. They shot off the charts, and we were just able to pull it through at the end.
Interesting, Matt Prescott just, I know you're excited about him.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about that.
I don't even know the kid. I love him. I don't even.
He's a good kid, for sure. Trying to see what we can do about the post game here. See if we can get Tommy Molars maybe. Oh, yeah. There you go. Yeah. Oh, Bassford said yeah. I thought you said you're getting a look. This is what we call breaking down the 4th wall. I thought you said, when you came back, you said the coaching staff said no. I'm sorry. I'll raise your volume back up there. Now you can explain yourself.
No. Bassford said yes.
Oh,
I was telling you that, and then you gave me the look.
Well, then what was the no for?
The no was something else. No, don't worry about what the no was. Don't worry about that.
See these things that I have on my head when Bassford's talking into them? Sometimes it's hard to hear when other people are talking as well.
Oh. Yeah, don't worry about that, little guy. Don't worry about that.
Oh, boy. Anyway, Montgomery starts the season 2-0. But as we wait for Joe Bassford to come on over here, we'll shamelessly plug what we have going on the rest of the holiday break. The Cougar Holiday Classic will be here the 27th and the 30th, and we'll be here with you. And Montgomery is slated to play Bridgewater in that game on the 27th, and then Eagle Academy on the 30th. So there'll be at least 2 more shots at Cougar basketball on the Mire before the new year, and that's exciting considering now that we have everything squared away. I say that I shouldn't really jinx us, should I, Poke?
No.
Doesn't said that very definitively.
Yeah, no, I don't know what you're doing.
Interesting to. There you go. Somebody give up a headset here to Coach Bassford as he's back. And let's see if Mandy can frame us up maybe.
Oh, sure
Excuse me. Bass, why don't we go up? You know what? I got to come this direction. Why don't we step out in front of the table here, Coach?
Yeah, sure.
And this way we can get you on camera a little bit.
I'm on TV.
Yeah, let's go. Step backwards back over here with me.
You're famous.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on win number 2. Get that thing all the way up here in front of your face just like that.
There we go.
I love it. So 2 wins, 2 decidedly different kind of styles of wins based on, what the opposition was throwing at you. And today in a game where you guys didn't really control the game for much of it, what does that mean for this team to come out with a victory in a game like this one?
It's huge because playing back-to-back at, from 7 o'clock at night and then having a 1 o'clock game the next day is kind of new territory for us this early in the season. And you also have to take into account that the majority of these guys played JV last year. They haven't had much varsity experience. So we don't really know what to expect on 2 really tough games coming in against Phillipsburg and Hamilton West. And last night was obviously a really thrilling victory. Everybody was pumped up. We were hitting shots. There was a lot going on for us. And today was one of those games where it just seemed like we couldn't get anything going. And, you just got to grind it out. You got to grind it out and find a way to win. And I think for our younger guys, this experience today was just huge. It was huge.
We were talking about momentum and teams in like early seasons in all kind of walks of life, whether it's high school sports or the NFL, that, teams sometimes don't know what they're going to be, early in games 1 and 2 of the year. And then if you were to somehow lose the first 2, then you go like, well, man, maybe we're not that good. But now you come out of this tournament and go like, oh, no, we're good.
Yeah, we knew we have talent. We know what our skills like. We've seen it in practice. We've seen it in scrimmages. You just never know when the lights come on what's going to happen on the floor. And you just got to keep trusting in them. And, we know that this is going to be a growing experience for a lot of guys. There's some guys that still haven't gotten going yet that I think will. And some guys have, which is just a huge confidence booster for them. So, we got some nice star power in Ryan Curry and Chris Rabaya, and the other guys have really stepped up these last 2 games, which has been huge for us.
Yeah, you talked about that. Those were kind of known commodities coming into the season with Curry and Rabaya. And Matt Prescott has just been absolutely lights out.
Yeah.
It looks like you have another stone-cold shooter there, in the form of that junior. What's it been like for him and with you guys being around him in the last 2 days?
I'm really happy for him. Obviously, I had the pleasure of coaching Matt all last year. And Matt had some huge games on the JV level, and we constantly talked about how Matt can just go off at any time. And I didn't know it was going to be the first game of his varsity experience. But since he did that, I think now he knows he can do it, whether it's the JV floor, and now he can do it here. And, I think you're going to see that a lot this year from him. And the fact that he can do that opens so much else up for the other guys as well. Now you got to play his shot, and Curry can do his thing, and Rabio can post, and they can't help off of Prescott now. So it's done some really good things for us as a team.
Last one from me. A thing that I think is noticeable out there, despite the inexperience, is there doesn't seem to be hesitation from these guys that you would have in other years considered just a quote-unquote piece to the puzzle, right?
Mm-hmm.
At one point on the floor, Marco Linus was the 5th guy that would score the basketball. And at times when you are that 5th guy, you're like, well, maybe I need to pass to one of the first 4.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
No.
I'm in the we're going.
Yeah.
Curry, sophomore, same deal, no fear, all guts. How have you been able to instill that kind of confidence in those guys to say, hey, you need to do this?
Yeah, I don't know if we can take the credit. I think it's helped that Marco, a guy like him, has played a varsity sport. He's a quarterback. He's a really great quarterback. He has that mentality of he's just playing, And we say it all the time. We say just play. Like, we try to not think too much around there. We want these guys to just be themselves and be able to go freely and play the game they love. And, that's the thing that we promote a lot, and we hope that when they take the floor they do that, because when they do, there's a lot less pressure on themselves and from their teammates, and they know they can just play. And some guys took some big shots at big times, and like you said, they hit them, and they're surprising us on after these first 2 games. So it's been nice to see.
Well, listen,
Very
congratulations, nice 2 impressive victories. Have a wonderful Christmas, and we'll see you at the holiday tournament.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much for everything.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure. It's
Bye.
Assistant Coach Joe Bassford here on the Mire. And that'll just about put the finishing touches on this one for us here from Montgomery. And the Cougs are 2-0 on the fledgling season. We will be back on December the 27th with boys basketball in the Cougar Holiday Classic against Bridgewater. What time, Mr. Penner, are we facing off here? 6 p.m. is tip-off for Bridgewater, so we'll be live 5:30 with a Mire pregame show, just like usual. From everybody here in Mireland, Matt Polk, Tim Bartholomew, Mandy Shavlin, we want to wish all of you and your families a very happy holidays and a Merry Christmas. We will see you after that.